Is the dealer installed lift for the Jeep Gladiator really that much better? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robotive JT. So is the dealer installed lift for the Jeep Gladiator really superior? Is it the best option you can get because it's through the dealership? I would say there's only one reason why. We'll get to that in just a minute. But real quick, if you're new and you haven't before, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So I'm out cruising around in the Jeep Gladiator this morning, enjoying its power and its nice smooth ride, its supple handling. And I got to thinking, because I go back and forth on whether I should put a lift on this truck myself or have it done at the dealership or have it done via third party. Now, let me get one thing out of the way right away, and that is I would not do it myself. Now, if you have the knowledge of it and you've done it before, you have the tools, the setup, all that good stuff, then there's really no reason you couldn't do it yourself. Just make sure that you have it balanced or aligned rather once that you're done. So that's out for me. I certainly wouldn't do it myself. Now, the dealership. You know, there's a lot of talk out there about having the lift done at the dealership. Now, I will tell you that through my own experience, I have learned that the dealership doesn't really do the lift. Now, that's not to say that there might be a shop somewhere, a dealership somewhere that might get into it, but for the most part, dealerships don't do lifts. They contract them out to third parties. The same places that you could go and cut the dealership out and probably save yourself a little bit of money, because let's face it, if the dealership's involved, they're going to make some money on it being the middleman. So it's going to cost you more money if you go through the dealership. They do have to pay the shop too, by the way. But they send it out to third parties. So any concerns that you have about going to a third party are really irrelevant, because the third party is going to end up doing the lift anyway. Now, height-wise, you know, you can get, I believe it's a 2-inch factory Mopar lift for your Jeep Gladiator. Now, does that mean it's a Mopar product? Well, no. Mopar, to the best of my knowledge, does not make the lift materials, if you will. They buy them. They contract them out to other places, like the Fox shocks, the Fox setup. But they don't make them. So you're really getting the same materials, if you will, that are rebranded and sold through Mopar. Again, a little bit more money tacked on, because it's not actually their product. You're paying for their name. So when is it really a good idea, or why is it a good idea to go through the dealership? Well, there's one big reason, and that is warranty. You know, if you have it done through the dealership, they have to warrant that lift, those parts, the workmanship, the whole thing. So you have recourse. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have recourse through a good shop either. Any shop that you go to have a lift done should stand behind their workmanship and the products that they put on, unless you supply them. And that's the next big thing. You know, if you buy the lift yourself, let's say you find one for a really good price on Amazon. It could be a no-name brand, who knows, but you buy it, and then you take it to the shop, and the shop provides the labor to install the lift. Realize, of course, that they're not going to warrant the parts themselves, because they did not provide them. They can't do that. I mean, can you imagine the liability they would have warranting other parts that are brought in that they never touched? They would have no recourse against their own suppliers if something went wrong. That's why they don't do it. They don't know what it is, they don't know the quality of it, and they have nobody else to go back on should something be wrong with those parts. So all you're going to get is the labor part. And that's it. You're not going to get any warranty on the components themselves if you provide them. So that's another good reason to have the shop provide the parts. It's going to cost you more money, But in the end, you still have recourse with that shop for the whole job. But again, it's funny to me that you see people talk about having it done at the dealership because you want to make sure it's done right. It's really no different than if you were to choose a good shop and have it done there on your own. I mean, you hope it's done right. You should use a shop that has a good reputation. And I would suggest that you check references, ask them. You know, what lifts have you installed? How much experience do you have doing this? And if you want to go even further, then ask to talk to somebody who's had work done. You should also be able to see reviews. Most websites these days have reviews, customer comments, feedback. Pay attention to those. Do they have a lot of good positive reviews? Are they filtering out all the negative reviews? I would say that if you go to a site and you look at their review section and all you see are sterling positive comments, then they're probably filtering out the bad ones, because let's face it, nobody's going to be happy with everything all the time. There's always going to be something that happens, and there's always going to be somebody out there who's not happy with the job. So you should see some negative comments as well. If not, I'd be a little bit concerned. So anyway, I just wanted to get on, kind of talk about that a little bit. You know, if you're considering a lift and you're concerned about warranty, the dealership probably is the best to go through, because in the end, you can go back to the dealership themselves and have anything that might have gone wrong or any problems that there could be solved through the dealership. You don't have to screw around with going back to the shop yourself. If you provided the parts, then you don't have to try to go back to whoever that seller was, have them provide better parts or get the parts repaired, replaced, all that stuff. And one other thing, because this happens a lot, I buy a lot of parts and things for mods on the channels. What happens when you get that lift in and there's something missing? You know, I'm assuming that you're probably not going to open it up and go through every part yourself. You may not even be knowledgeable enough, like me, to know every little thing that should be there to make a successful install. So if you get the parts yourself, you take them into the dealership or the shop and something is missing, now what are you going to do? The job comes to a halt. They may have already spent labor time doing things to your truck that you're going to have to pay for, and then they have to put it all back together and start over once all of the parts come in. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think on this. Do you think it's better to go through the dealership? Do you see any advantage to having their warranty and having the dealership behind the lift? Or do you think it's a better idea to just handle it all yourself, cut out the middleman, save a little bit of money, and go through a third-party shop? I'd be curious to know. Also, again, if you did in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about Toyota Tacomas, and Rob Motive FST, all about full-size trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.